Hello everyone, my name is Adrian Gonzalez, and I will be showing you my mechanic for the Vargr project. So here is, I will open up the demo level. So my mechanic is mutations, which are basically just elemental attacks. So the first of which is fire. So you walk up to these totems, interact with them, and you can then open the mutation tab and change them. So right now all I have is fire. I will switch to the fire mutation set and run through that. So you can see that it has elemental VFX. So I will demonstrate. These rabbits are weak to fire, so they will die almost immediately with this setup. This is the Howl. It has the special ability that does damage over time, and you can see that they are burning. And after they die, it will destroy them. The next set is ice, and I will swap to those. Bears are actually not weak to ice, so I'll show you real quick. They are resistant to the ice. So if I switch back to basic and I run up to this bear, you can see does that much damage with just basic. And then it will do still a little bit more damage with the ice, but it will not do the same amount as if they were weak to it, which they are weak to lightning, and that will be the next one. So I'll come in here, I'll do this. For this, it slows them down when they get hit with the howl, so they don't move as fast. So then, if I come over here, this is the lightning mutation set, and it is the final mutation set that I have set up. I will swap to it, and I will show you. The bears are weak to this one. So if I come over here, you'll see it does a decent amount more damage. And the special ability for this is it doubles your movement speed after you use a howl. So that is my mechanic. That is the basic functionality of it. It can be iterated upon later by adding more elements for it to be set up as. It is rewarding for the player to use the right element, and it punishes them by not giving you as much damage if you don't use it. You can actually go through and use multiple different elements at once. So right now, like I have this all set: the swipe to fire and the howl to ice, and then you can see it'll do the different ones for each one. The bears also do have a slight weakness to fire, just a little bit less, or it's a 25% increase. And that is it for my mechanic.
Hello everyone, my name is Nick Kylholtz, and today I'm going to be showing you my mechanic, Rage Mode, and the Rage Meter. So let me show you how that works. Now here at my level, you can see I got the Rage Meter UI down there on the left-hand corner of the player screen. I have it set up to basically it's an event in the player called Rage Mode. It's going to give me points anytime that I hit an enemy. It's going to give me 5, or on the bear it's 10. And it starts to fill up the meter down there on the left-hand side of the screen. Once this meter reaches 100, we're going to enhance the player's damage and slow down time for a duration, which on this I have it set to 10 seconds. Before I activate it, I'll just show you a few things. Just explain a few things. So on each enemy, I have the time dilations. I have a set custom time dilation for the event while rage mode is active. So if the rage mode is active, the enemies will slow down for the 10 seconds that the rage mode is active. On the player, I have a visual and a audible feedback. I have the visual, which is a few point lights that'll turn the player mesh red. I have a sound effect that just says rage mode that I made, and then on the UI rage meter, there'll be a little red circle that pops up while it's active. Then it'll reset, and everything will normalize. So you can see here, you got the bunny rabbit and everything slowed down. We do a good amount of damage while we're in rage mode. So we killed 10 rabbits. We'll move to the next area, and I will show you on the bears. They were set up the same. They just give 10 rage points per hit. When the player hits them, it, like I said, slows them down the same to 0.15, and then we set it back to 1 once the rage mode is no longer active. I'd like to put a Niagara effect, something, right now I just have the glowing effect for the point lights. I would like to put some type of Niagara effect, kind of red glowy floating off of the wolf while they're in rage mode. I was wanting to make like a UI. So in this last area here, I just have a little boss set up. He's got more hit points, does a little bit more damage, but I'll kind of show you again where this comes into play, what the reward is for using this. The player can activate it anytime. Any enemies they hit with any of the attacks will give us points. It can come in handy when we want to fight certain bosses like this bear boss here, and we can dodge attacks once we slow them down, and we can do more damage. So you see rage mode active. This bear's animations are still messed up, but you'd be able to run around and attack them. So that's my mechanic. I appreciate you joining me.
Alright, my name's Blake Moore. I'm on the team Cobalt Acolyte, and we made the game Vargr. My mechanic for this month was the throw mechanic, so picking up and throwing objects. So there's going to be different objects in the game that the player can go up and attack to pick up, and then have different interactions with them, whether they be throwing them and stuff like that. With the game vision on it, I feel it fits the design pillars pretty well, because it's supposed to be a fast-paced game. You're able to run through, pick up stuff, throw them pretty quickly, and also falls into that predator-prey dynamic. So let me go ahead and just start, kind of just showing the first pickup. You got these rocks, and whenever you're carrying it, you can no longer howl, you can no longer swipe. So if you hold the swipe, it now kind of just helps you give you a prediction of where this projectile is going to go. So like throw it at like this rabbit, cause damage to it, or this bear over here, and cause damage to them. So the vision, I think it fits with the fast-paced predator-prey dynamic. It gives player agency, gives them different ways to interact with the environment and play. With the player agency, it allows the players to approach fights differently. So like, say with a beehive, you can take a beehive, carry it to whoever you want to attack, throw it, hit them, it breaks open on them, they're now being attacked by bees until it wears off. And then with that, so it allows players to play differently based on what they're wanting to do, and gives them different things instead of just running up and attacking with like the swipe or the bite or the howl. So the clarity, learnability, the rocks, they stand out from the environment that they're around to encourage the player to grab them, and the beehives currently they float in the area to kind of show the player that that's there, and um, it catches the player's attention because, as you notice, as you get closer to it, the beehives get louder. It follows it. It'll track the sound, so you can know that you're getting closer to when to pick one up. With the rewards and punishments, um, so with the rocks, the rewards is you have an opportunity to cause some damage to something from far away. Um, the punishments on it, while you're carrying this, you're locked into carrying this until you throw it back out. You can no longer swipe. You can no longer howl. If you hold swipe, it just gives you the prediction route of the projectile. Um, and then with the beehives, notice, listen to the sound. It'll play a sound of me carrying it, but then after so many seconds, I think it's 3, the bees start getting angry, it makes another sound, and you start taking damage. See, now they're angry, and they're now causing me damage every second. So it keeps the player from carrying the beehive around to just until they come up to an opponent that they need to use it quickly, or else they'll start taking damage. So it's the trade-off of getting a bunch of damage over time that you can cause to somebody. So a feedback with that is the sounds of you picking it up, the sounds of, or also like the sights of, there's a rock right here. I'm going to go up and grab it. It is now grabbed. It's no longer there. I'm carrying it around in my mouth until I spit it out at something. With the boulders, you can use it to open up paths like this, which if we notice over there, there's another one over there to catch the player's attention come out of here. So when we come back in here, it just gives us an opportunity to test the rocks of these bears right here. There's some more dangerous enemies, and then got like the beehive. You can hit them and use it to help cause a lot of damage to that bear right there. It just opens up different opportunities on how to attack and damage the enemies that you fight, especially with like a bear, trying to keep it from getting up super close to you. It's just different ways to approach fights. And then, so if the iteration and variation of it, so in there you can just see, or while we were out there, you can see you just test just throwing it around and stuff. In here you're more confined with those hazardous enemies, and you can have a bunch of boulders that you pick up and throw to kind of keep a distance away from them. And then if we take this boulder and carry it over here, we can see the last showcase of how you can use this throw mechanic. So over here, you gotta get it out over there, and then clear the gap, and then you have a boss in here. This boss, he hits very hard, has a lot of health, but if you take these beehives and stack the damage of hitting him with multiple beehives at a time, he takes increased damage from these beehives, and so you can see where you can start taking his health down very fast by using these beehives. And it just shows that there's lots of different opportunities in the game for the player to have different ways to go out and fight. And certain things work better for other things. But yeah, and so I think that pretty much covers it up. The purpose of this mechanic was to get a throw thing in place. This can be expanded upon to have multiple different things that the player can pick up and throw and interact with the environment. But yeah, name's Blake Moore, and thank you.
Okay. Alright, hello. I'm Sean. I'm part of Football Acolyte, this is our game Vargr, and I'll be going over my mechanic today, which is the flying enemy, or the bird. Before we get started, I guess we can explain how this ties into our design pillars, so that makes it a little bit easy. Obviously, it's an enemy, so therefore the predator-prey dynamic automatically applies. On the progression, when you attack enemies in this game, you level up and get XP. Player agency, you'll in the normal game and stuff, you of course have items like heal or whatever. You also heal when you deal damage to enemies and such. So we have that as well. As far as the mutations, which is one of our other design pillars. So obviously, mine doesn't have that. But again, the other versions of these enemies will, as you progress down the line, you'll have a different version which might be mutated. So overall, it does completely fit with all of our design pillars. Now going into the enemies, this is our practice, quote unquote, enemy. It doesn't necessarily attack or patrol like the rest of them do, which you can see if I go over here. See them kind of all flying around. This one, just for the sake of explaining things, all it does is finds the player, chases them down, and once it loses sight of the player, it will go to its last seen location and then begin looking around. And then if it finds the player, it will continue chasing. If it does not, it will just sit there. Again, this one doesn't have a path to follow around, but the other ones do. Okay. So we're just going to take this one out. It has a really big hitbox, so I guess mesh, so we'll kind of use to play around. All right, take care of that one. Now we'll go into the one that will fight back. You see this one follows patrol points, goes up and down, and when it sees the player, it will attack, as you can see. And then same as before, it will search around. If it doesn't see the player, after it looks around for it, it will go back to patrolling. There we go. As you can see, there it is, going to one point, now to the other, loops around. That's not it. Okay. Unfortunately, I guess it has immunity to go to the forest. We'll fix that later. But as you can see, it went to the path, it saw me, then it immediately started attacking me again. And once it loses me, it goes back to patrolling. And if it doesn't see me, it goes to wherever it last saw. So once again, we're just going to take this one out. Darn hitbox. Okay. That one's gone. So that one's like really good practice. Again, you can probably go into here to hide or get away from its its field of view. And then we come over here and you have to take out multiple at once. They have a shorter time to fire since there's more of them. Let's take a practice. And there we go. So if it hits me, now they can't see me, it will start searching. That one sees me, so it'll start firing. There we go. And you see that one, since it didn't see me because it was hidden up top, that one back to patrolling. This one starts looking for me as well. And yeah, that's pretty much my mechanic. So we'll go ahead and finish these last two off. Get up here so we can see me. Obviously, since they're in the air, that's where the difficulty comes in. You can't really attack it unless it sees you because it'll just start flying around. So you want to get it to detect you, come close to you, and then take it out from up close. And there we go. So that gives us a little bit of variety in our gameplay. Instead of just running up, attacking bears and rapids and such, now we have an enemy that we can only hit during certain situations. For now, at least. Thank you for watching, and I'll go ahead and pass over to my next team member.
Hello, I'm Matthew Salazar, and this is my game mechanic. I'm currently in my level demo. My mechanic is the basic wall run, which fits well with our design pillars because it is fast-paced and allows the player to progress throughout the map. The player's choice to use wall runs throughout the game will allow them to reach areas that are used for collectibles or different items that the player can find. The ability to learn, for the player to learn these mechanics, can be indicated by these green walls that will have claw marks in later iterations. The reward for using the mechanics can be traversal from one spot to another without having to go through enemy lines, or to find collectibles or hidden mutations throughout the map. The punishment for not using them can be they can't find certain mutations that would be needed on later on, or that they would want. And another punishment is that they could fail, causing them to restart back from the beginning, or to perish depending on where the wall run is located. The feedback that the player will receive is that the player will get a slight boost and a slight increase in height to allow them to keep the momentum and keep going forward. This is used by going side to side, allowing the players to jump from one side of the wall to another. There are multiple iterations of this wall run due to the fact that you can place these walls in any sort of pattern that it can be used to build intricate paths for harder mutations or for hidden items. This could be one here. You can go straight, goes to the left, and then it goes back forward. The player would have to figure out how many wall jumps they would need to reach the other side without falling. They would also need to find a way to get from one side to the other to get the hidden items.